Welcome to Southport's Halloween Storytime. I'm Tish Hatem, First Lady of Southport, and I would like to share with you today one of my Halloween favorites, Popcorn by Frank Ash. One fall night, Mama and Papa Bear went to a Halloween party and left Sam home alone. Take good care of the house and we'll bring you a present. So he called up his friends and invited them to his house for his own Halloween party. While he waited for his friends to arrive, he made himself a costume. Wear a costume and bring something to eat. The first to arrive was Betty. I brought some popcorn for the party, she said. The second to arrive was Billy. He brought popcorn too. Barney, Bonnie, and Buster also brought popcorn. In fact, everyone brought popcorn. The party was lots of fun. When Betty said, "Hey, let's pop all that popcorn," everyone thought it was a good idea. With some help from his friends, Sam lifted Mama Bear's great big kettle onto the kitchen stove and poured all the popcorn in. He added some oil and salt and turned on the stove. Soon it began to pop. Pop, pop, pop. There was so much popcorn, it quickly filled the kettle and spilled out onto the floor.
Uh-oh.
There was so much popcorn, it filled the whole kitchen. It spilled out into the living room. It filled all the rooms downstairs and crept upstairs. There was so much popcorn, it filled the whole house. What happened? Help! Who turned out the lights? Where did everybody go? Some party! Get me out of here! Everybody wanted to go home, but Sam said, "No, you've got to stay and help me get rid of all this popcorn, or I'll be in big trouble." Crunch, crunch, crunch. They ate and they ate and they ate. And they ate and they ate some more. And they ate and they ate until the popcorn was gone. "I don't care if I ever see another piece of popcorn in my whole life," said Buster. "I feel like my stomach's going to burst," said Betty. "Mine too," said Bobby. Sam felt the sickest of all. He said goodnight to his friends and cleaned up. And went to bed. Later that night, Mama and Papa Bear came home. "Wake up," they said. "We brought you a present." "What is it?" asked Sam. "Popcorn," they replied. The end.
Hi, my name is Kate Marshall, and I'm the Animal Protective Services Officer for the City of Southport. And I'm here this morning for the City of Southport Halloween Storytime. And I'd like to read Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson. Room on the Broom. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black, and a long ginger hair in a braid down her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat. Down, cried the witch as they flew to the ground and searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes on thundering paws there bounded a dog with a hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, "I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and the dog clambered on, and the witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and forests they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held onto her hat, but away blew the bow from her braid just like that. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They scrambled for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with a bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her hair in the bow, "I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?" "Yes," cried the witch, and the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped her broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The birds shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of a pond, leaped a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried her wand on a fold of her cloak, "I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?" "Yes," said the witch, so the frog bounded on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. "I am a dragon, as mean as can be, and you, witch, look like a good supper to me." "No," cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. "Help!" cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew nearer and started to drool. He said, "I won't let you go. Do you think I'm a fool?" But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of the ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird, and its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, "Buzz off, that's my witch." The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he spluttered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly." And he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat and said, "Phew," said the dog. "And thank you, oh thank you," with the grateful witch cried. "Without you I'd be in that dragon's inside." Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone, throw something in." So the frog found a lily, and the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, ziggity, boom! Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, and a nest for the bird and a pool for the frog. "Yes," cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone.
The end.
Hi, I'm Randy Jones, Director of Tourism and Public Information Officer for the City of Southport. and I'm excited to be part of the Halloween Storytime. The book I chose is Curious George, a Halloween Boo Fest. A good boo is a big part of Halloween. It's spooky, silly fun. Here's how it's done. Find somewhere to hide. Make sure they can't see you. And when they least expect it, you leap out with a boo. Everyone's in costume. You don't know who is who until somebody shocks you by shouting out a boo. It's sneaky for a moment, but then it's funny too. When a silly, sneaky friend pops out and hollers boo. If one boo can be fun, can you imagine two? Grab a friend and jump right out and do a double boo. Now you've really got it. You know just what to do. Put on your favorite costume and get ready to say, boo! Happy Halloween and be safe.
Hi, I'm Lisa Anderson with the City of Southport Communications Department. And today, for our Halloween Story Hour, I have decided to read There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Bat by Lucille Calandro. There was an old lady who swallowed a bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed an owl. My, oh my, she started to howl. She swallowed the owl to shush the bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed a cat. What do you think? Now she's so fat. She swallowed the cat to chase the owl. She swallowed the owl to shush the bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed a ghost. What do you think? She liked it the most. She swallowed the ghost to catch the cat. She swallowed the cat to chase the owl. She swallowed the owl to shush the bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed a goblin. It made her so dizzy she started to spin. She swallowed the goblin to scare the ghost. She swallowed the ghost to catch the cat. She swallowed that cat to chase the owl. She swallowed the owl to shush the bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed some bones. Oh, there were so many she started to groan. She swallowed the bones to rattle the goblin. She swallowed the goblin to scare the ghost. She swallowed the ghost to catch the cat. She swallowed the cat to chase the owl. She swallowed the owl to shush the bat. I don't know why she swallowed a bat. Imagine that. There was an old lady who swallowed a wizard to cast a spell so she could yell, "Trick or treat!" Have a fun and safe Halloween, everybody.
Welcome everyone to Southport's Reading Corner. My name is Chief Corin with the Southport Police Department, and I'm going to be reading you a book today, and it is titled The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. It's by Linda Williams and illustrated by Megan Lloyd. And this is the cover of our book, and I'm excited to be reading to you, so let's get started. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. This is our little old lady. It says she's not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect herbs, spices, nuts, and seeds. She walked so long and so far that it started to get dark. There was only a silver moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. When you see her walking, it's getting dark, so let's see what happens. Right in the middle of the path were two big shoes, and the shoes went clomp, clomp. There are the shoes. "Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady. On the side, she walked down the path, but behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. Here are the shoes. "Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady. On she walked down the path, but behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. And the shoes are making noise. A little farther on, the little old lady stumbled into a pair of pants, and the pants went wiggle, wiggle. "Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and she walked on, but behind her she could hear. So these pants are making noise. Two shoes go clomp, clomp, and one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. Further still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake. "Get out of my way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady, and on she walked, a little bit faster, but behind her she could hear. It's kind of silly, all these things are talking. Let's see what happens. The two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, and one shirt goes shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod. "Get out of my way, you two white gloves and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you," she said. And on she walked, but just a little bit faster. But behind her, she could hear. She's got a lot of stuff following her. Two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt go shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. And one hat go nod, nod. By now, the little old lady was walking a quite bit fast. She went very near her cottage when she was startled by a very huge, very orange, very scary pumpkin head. And the head went, boo, boo. That's what the head said, y'all. Kind of scary. This time, the little old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran. But behind her, she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt go shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. One hat go nod, nod. One scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. All right. The little old lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could and didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage with the door locked. She sat in her chair by the fire and she rocked and she rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage before the knock knock on the door. Well, she was not afraid of anything, so she went to the door and opened it. What do you think she saw? So here she is sitting there. Let's see what she saw. Two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt go shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. One hat go nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady bravely. What do you want anyway? We've come to scare you. You can't scare me, said the little old lady. Then what's to become of us? The pumpkin head suddenly looked unhappy. So, they're all at the door. I have an idea, said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The pumpkin head nodded and its face seemed to brighten. The little old lady said good night, closed the door, and whistled on her way to bed. Wonder what she told that pumpkin head. The next morning she woke up early. She went to her window and looked out into her garden. And what do you think she saw? 2 shoes go clomp clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle wiggle. 1 shirt go shake shake. 2 gloves go clap clap. 1 hat go nod nod. 1 scary pumpkin head go boo boo. And scare all the crows away. All right. Well, that is our awesome book that we read today, guys. The Little Old Lady Who Wasn't Afraid of Anything. And I appreciate you guys joining me. And I hope that you have a safe and a happy Halloween.
Hi, this is Dr. Joe Pat Hatem, Mayor of the City of Southport, and I'm here to read a Halloween story. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, one of my favorites. It's a special time of year. The air felt brisk and cool. The colorful leaves fell from the trees. The pumpkins were ready to be picked. It was fall. And for Linus, Lucy, Snoopy, and Charlie Brown, that meant Halloween was almost here. It also meant football. One afternoon, Lucy approached Charlie Brown. "I'll hold the ball, and you come running and kick it," she said sweetly. But Charlie Brown shook his head. He knew what Lucy was up to. "You just want me to come running up to kick that ball so you can pull it away and see me land flat on my back." "This time you can trust me," said Lucy. She held out a piece of paper. "See, here's a signed document testifying that I promise not to pull it away." He felt excited. This year he was really going to kick that football. Charlie Brown got a running start. But as usual, Lucy pulled the ball away as he got close. "Ah," he cried. Charlie Brown as he flew into the air. "Peculiar thing about this document," said Lucy. "It was never notarized." Poor Charlie Brown in the air. Meanwhile, Linus was busy with his own fall tradition. He was writing his annual letter to the Great Pumpkin. "Dear Great Pumpkin," Linus began, "I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents." Charlie Brown was curious. "Who are you writing to?" he asked. Linus smiled and then he explained, "This is the time of year to write to the Great Pumpkin. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with a bag of toys for all the children." Charlie Brown just shook his head as he walked away. Even Snoopy laughed as he walked by. Linus kept on writing. Soon his sister Lucy came by. "Not again," Lucy complained over his shoulder. "Writing a letter to a pumpkin? You make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood." But Linus still wrote. "Everyone tells me you are a fake, but I believe in you." A little later, Sally walked over. She wanted to know what Linus was doing. Linus told her all about the Great Pumpkin. "Would you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin?" "I'd love to, Linus," said Sally. Finally, Linus was finished with his letter. "And how do you think you're going to mail that letter?" Lucy asked. "You can't possibly reach the mailbox, and I'm not going to help you." But Linus had an idea. He used his blanket like a lasso to open the mailbox. He tossed the letter in. Nothing could stop him from sending his letter to the Great Pumpkin. As Linus went proudly back inside, Charlie Brown came running up to Lucy. "I got a Halloween invitation and to a party," Charlie Brown told her. He did a happy dance. It's the first time I've ever been invited to a party. Lucy frowned. If you got an invitation, it was a mistake. There were 2 lists, one to invite and one not to invite. You must have been put on the wrong list. But Charlie Brown didn't care what Lucy said. He had his invitation and he was going to that Halloween party. Soon it was Halloween night. The kids all changed into their costumes for trick-or-treating. Lucy was a witch. Sally was a ghost. She was afraid of her own costume. Charlie Brown was also a ghost, but he had a little trouble with the scissors. Pigpen was a ghost, a very dirty one. Even Snoopy had dressed up. He was a World War I flying ace. Now I've heard everything, exclaimed Lucy. So here's Lucy the witch. There's Charlie Brown. He had trouble with his. He cut too many holes. Here's Snoopy the World War I flying ace. And there's Pigpen. You can see he's a dirty little ghost. As Snoopy marched in a different direction, the little group hurried off to start trick-or-treating. They soon ran into Linus in the pumpkin patch. Have you come to sing pumpkin carols? He asked them. You're going to miss all the fun, just like last year, Lucy told him. But Linus didn't care. He knew the great pumpkin was on its way to this pumpkin patch. You really think he'll come? Sally asked. As everyone left to go trick-or-treating, she was torn. Should she go with them or stay with Linus? Sally decided to stay. I'm glad, said Linus. You'll see the great pumpkin with your own eyes. Each year the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. I don't see how a pumpkin patch could be more sincere than this one. Meanwhile, the other kids had arrived at their first house of the night. Tricks or treats, they cried. One by one, candy was thrown into their bags. Can I have an extra piece of candy for my brother? Lucy asked. He couldn't come with us because he's sitting in a pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin. The kids compared what they got. I got 5 pieces of candy, said Lucy. I got a chocolate bar, said Violet. I got a quarter, said Schroeder. I got a rock, said Charlie Brown. Soon everyone's bags were filled with candy, except Charlie Brown's. His bag was filled with rocks. But he didn't let that get him down. It was time to go to the Halloween party. On the way, Violet wondered where Snoopy the World War I flying ace had gone. He's probably getting ready to take off on the next dawn patrol, answered Charlie Brown. Soon the group passed by the pumpkin patch. Has the great pumpkin been by? Taunted Violet. You think you're so smart, Sally called as the laughing group continued along. He'll be here. You can bet on that. Sally turned to Linus. All right, where is he? He'll be here, Linus assured her. I hope so, said Sally. Just think of all the fun we're missing. Across town, the Halloween party was in full swing. There were games and music and pumpkins to decorate. Violet, Patty, and Lucy wanted to draw the perfect face on their pumpkin. But how would they know what to draw on it? You'll have to model for us, Violet told Charlie Brown. You'll be the perfect model, agreed Patty. Charlie Brown felt honored. He sat down on a stool. Violet turned him around. That's when he realized they wanted to use the back of his head as a model for the pumpkin. Hey. Next, it was time to bob for apples. Lucy went first. This is the way to do it. She stuck her head in the barrel and came up with an apple and Snoopy. Blah, she cried. My lips touched dog lips. Snoopy danced along while Schroeder played the piano. Then he figured it was time to continue on his journey as the World War I flying ace. He snipped his way to the pumpkin patch. Sally was just about fed up. Where was the great pumpkin? Linus tried to reassure her. Just think, Sally, when the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch, we'll be here to see him. All of a sudden, Linus heard a noise. What's that? He asked. He watched as a dark figure appeared in the pumpkin patch. There he is, it's the great pumpkin, Linus shouted. He was so excited that he fainted. When Linus awoke, Sally was waiting for him. What happened? Linus asked. What did the great pumpkin leave us? Did he leave us any toys? Sally couldn't contain her frustration any longer. I was robbed, she shouted. I spent the whole night waiting for the great pumpkin when I could have been out for tricks or treats. Halloween is over and I missed it. She pointed at Linus. You kept me up all night waiting for the great pumpkin, and all that came was a beagle.
Ugh!
As Sally left, Linus called after her. It won't be long now, he said. If the great pumpkin comes, I'll put in a good word for you. Linus gasped. He said, if. Was he starting to doubt the great pumpkin too? The hours ticked by. After a while, Linus fell asleep. He was shivering under his blanket when Lucy came out to get him in the very early hours of the morning and tuck him into bed. Later that day, Charlie Brown and Linus met up. Well, another Halloween has come and gone, said Charlie Brown. I don't understand it. I went trick-or-treating, and all I got was a bag full of rocks. Charlie Brown looked at his friend. I suppose you spent all night in the pumpkin patch, and the great pumpkin never showed up. Nope, said Linus. Don't take it too hard, Linus, Charlie Brown said. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too. Linus furrowed his brows. Stupid? What do you mean, stupid? Just wait till next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see, next year I'll find a pumpkin patch that is really sincere. And I'll sit in that pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears. The end. Have you come to sing Let me start this page over. As Snoopy, I read this thing 3 times and I never said Christmas the whole time.
Happy Halloween!